How's it going, YouTube? Leo from Deluxe Australia here, and welcome back to Let's Play the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. So, I'm recording another episode because there's still a good amount of endings we have to check out, and not to mention, we still have to go to the endings with the bucket. But, there's one particular ending that I want to check out now.
All his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And basically go on the pathway back to where the phone was when we checked out in the first episode. What the? Hey! What the hell? Oh, that is freaky. That was Stanley. That was Hey, someone was playing solitaire. That was freaky. I didn't even think that would actually happen.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I'm actually sort of curious if there is actually a safer way to getting down from going towards that door. I really have no idea if that is possible or not, because for what I've discovered in the last episode, or in the last previous recording I did, you can get down there safely. I wonder if you can actually land on the... Ooh. Well, it's the start of the episode, so we can give it a shot. Oh, oh, oh.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Okay, so, nope, that's not going to be a thing. Okay, so, back to business.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting.
Hello.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Hello? Hello? Oh. Ooh.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Alright, alright.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning, employee. Press.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
B?
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
See what happens if I don't actually press it. I'm curious. There's the clock. Hey. Pressing it.
You see? Can he just not hear me?
Hey.
How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
And we have loaded back in. Alright. So let's take us the bucket.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Onto the left. Okay, so I think what I will do is, because we still have to find one more figurine. I'm not sure where this figurine will be, but we'll go downstairs with the bucket and see where that leads us to. Because, yeah, we still have one more figurine we need to find. I can't remember. Oh, hello. Hey!
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? that your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
I can't really do much.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Property of Stanley. I love it. Alright.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Nope, we're going downstairs this time.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket. Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket. Come to me, Stanley. Find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful.
Oh.
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Good amount of censoring that I Well, not a good amount, but there are some censoring stuff I have to do for the next few, throughout the next episodes. That's for sure.
Perhaps he had simply
Okay.
missed a
Oh,
memo.
and the sticker's still there. Oh, that's amazing.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, well, one thing I will do is that we're going to go back to the boss's office, and we're going to do the same thing we did last episode, where we try to go through the doors, but quickly go back out before it closes behind us. Let's see if that will actually work. Oh. Now, is there anything? Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay, so we have 2 more inputs to make. Okay.
Stepping
Yeah, did it again. Alright, what happens if we go over here? Alright. Still the same. Oh, wait a minute. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, is it rich? What a life it would be to have a pick. To pick. Well, that's one way of putting it. Alright, so let's see what happens when we have the bucket and we go to this, what is it? This escape pod elevator that we find. Ah, a private but smelly place for an important person. A private but smelly. That's a hint? Places to search. Because we've done the sequel exhibit. Large room, lots of boxes, we've got that. Stairs, something to do with stairs, yeah. Somewhere both red and gold, nearby fireplace, we picked up that. A private but smelly place for an important person. It would have to be the ending, I would assume, where we basically take and unplug the phone. That's what I'm guessing here. That's my internal guess. So we'll go check that out once when we complete this ending, and we'll see what else we can do. Alright, let's see what happens. Can we go up? Or is it going to... Ooh. Oh. Okay, I was not expecting that. That is awesome. I love that. Oh, that is great.
All
Okay.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
A memo? Okay, so where would the 4th computer monitor be? Oh, right here.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he
Right.
couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, the bucket's gone. It's gone for good. Oh, hang on. What the hell? Oh.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh. Oh, hang on a second.
Stanley stepped through the open door.
Well, I don't see the bucket.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Well, okay, so... I don't know what happened. So, is the bucket no longer with us now? What the... Oh, yeah. I forgot that there was a point where papers would go over here, but look. Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. Ooh. Wait a minute. Oh, I can't remember if it was like this before in the original or if it's changed. Oh no, they get turned back on. Okay. There you go. I can't remember if there was an achievement you get for this. I honestly can't remember. But, alright. Time to go back to the beginning again.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed...
Oh no, the bucket's back. Cool. I wonder if we could see a Stanley walking around. I also don't know. Okay, so for this next ending,
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled.
Now that we got the
He'd
bucket
never
back.
be alone again. Not truly alone. Not with the bucket around.
Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to take the bucket and we're going to go through the escape. No, we're going.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So we're going to go to
This
the
was not
room
correct
where
way to
the
the
phone
meeting room,
is and
but
unplug
Stanley
it.
had felt the bucket
I want to
calling
see
to
what
him,
ending we will
telling him
get with
that
the bucket in hand
employee
now.
lounge was simply the place.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone,
Said the bucket.
pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
I'm going to leave that later. Let's unplug this.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Well, I will say, we don't have any problem with the room yet. Oh, that's... I love it.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
There we go. I love it that they had a different instructional video with the bucket process. That though acted a bit weird, didn't it? Okay.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Alright, let's see what happens if we go for the right. Oh, hello.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land, or not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Is there going to be in a repeat mode if we go through the right again? Oh.
What? We're back at the phone already? No.
It is.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Alright, one more time. I want to see if it does it a little bit quicker if we do it again.
What? We're back at the phone already? No.
Okay, let's do the last one now.
Ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
To the left we go.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal, I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
I love that. They basically just did a reverse. They just did a reverse. Instead of going right, we go left to get to that particular ending. I love that. I love that so much. That is great.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
What the heck?
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Well, none of the trace of the co-workers, but a lot of them all over the place with these screens, that's for sure. Alright.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so for this next ending for this particular episode, we're going to go to the stairs, and we're actually going to go downstairs to see what happens there.
Stanley
no.
pushed the bucket tightly to his chest.
We already did that one.
Entered the door on his left.
We're going to go to the ending, and we're going to go to the escape bits. That's what I was thinking of. Okay.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Nope, we're going to escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Nope, we're moving forward.
At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Keep on moving. And down we go. Whee! Bucket. Oh, uh-oh. Oh.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
Whee! Oh, they brought the female narrator back for this bit. I love that.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Oh, we lost the bucket. The bucket. Welcome to your welcome to the grand You're standing on the precise of knowledge that, much like a bucket itself, the human mind is empty within a carnivorous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full of enriched and substantiated? I don't even pronounce that. Knowledge of the bucket and its history of the tribunal. Oh, wow. It's an entire...
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Look at this bucket right here. Is that a wooden bucket? Yeah, that's a wooden bucket. Inferno bucket is what that one's called. What the hell? Oh, excuse me. Oh my god. The stress bucket. Oh, this is amazing. We have red curtains here.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Oh. Oh! Wait. The Infinity Tunnel. Is this the Infinity Tunnel? Whee! Oh, hello.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
I love it. I love it. Oh. Oh, that is amazing. I love that so much.
All his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. So, I know I have a little bit of time left in this episode. It's nearly gone for an hour, but there's a lot of editing I need to do for this. So, the next stop we're going to go to is...
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the phone and actually pick it up and see where that ending leads us.
Now pick up the phone,
Said the bucket.
pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Hello? Oh no, did it actually crash? Oh, it crashed. Did that crash on purpose? Did that actually crash on purpose? I need to look at that. I need to open the game back up and see if that's actually on purpose. So, give me a moment. Please adjust the slider so the computer... Oh! So the computer is barely visible. What? Please adjust the slider until the dog and the cat are friends. Please adjust the slider until 5 becomes 9. Whoop, hello. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Which of the two made-up words below is most appealing to you? Scrumtash or Ocubonical? Is that how you meant to pronounce it? Oh, I like both of them, but I kind of like this more. I don't even know which side the slider needs to be. I'm gonna stick it to the middle. Please don't adjust the slider. Okay. Do you want to know what time it is right now? Yes. Is the time that is right now the correct time? Yes. What time is it anyway? Yes. Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? Yes. Well, yes. We'll come back. Will you come back to visit me? Yes, of course. I love that. Oh.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him. The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from, me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is this awful bucket, this stupid hunk of metal. It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it. Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. And we restart. Yes, we do. Oh my goodness. This has just been... Oh. Oh, I love this. Like, this, I just love the ending. So, okay. So, there's still got a couple of endings I need to do with the bucket, but there's still a couple of things I want to experiment with a few ideas that I kind of remember from playing in the previous version of the game that I need to check out to see if it works in this one. I still need to find that last collectible, which I'm going to try and figure that out for myself. I have a feeling I might have to go through the ending where we actually do get a credit sequence is probably my best guess for that. But we'll get around to that in due time. But I'm going to leave the episode off here. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, then click the like button, click the subscribe button for more videos sent your way. Until then, this has been Let's Play the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I'm Lee from Deluxe Australia. Until next time, Liam out.